You may not know this, but right now in Canada, the cost of a new car, and when I say new car, I'm not talking about a new electric vehicle. I'm talking about new car. Cost of a new car in Canada. Average price now, over $50,000. You know, a year ago, it had just passed 45 grand for the first time. Now it's past 50 grand, and I suspect we're going to be in 55 grand, 60 grand territory sooner than later. And there are a lot of things at play here. You talk to the car manufacturers and say, oh, there's this, there's that. Let's try and find out more about what is happening on the market. If you're trying to buy a new car, a used car, you have seen the situation. So what's your best bet? Let's go to Eric Buzaglo, co-founder of Auto Consultant, who is on the line. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Liz. How are you?
I'm doing great. So first things first, let's talk about the dollar signs here. The stats say it's $50,000 a year plus now for a new car. It's the highest it's ever been. Would you say that this is exactly what you're seeing out there?
I would say the $50,000 average price depicts the market more in the U.S., but we're lucky here in Canada in the sense that dealerships are not legally allowed to charge over MSRP to someone purchasing or leasing a new car for that matter. So the $50,000 is more in line with what's happening in the U.S.
Well, Eric, I am looking at the Canadian numbers, by the way. I just want to point that out. I'm looking at the latest Canadian figures. Average price of a new vehicle in Canada year over year went up 12.7%, $50,758. First time it's been past 50 grand.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, and we can thank the electric car vehicle prices for that big jump in price and the fact that the government is kicking in and incentivizing buyers to get those vehicles with additional rebates, because the mainstream buyers, an electric vehicle is still out of reach if the government wasn't coming in and kicking up and helping us out.
Eric, so the car manufacturers point to a lot of things, right? Can you tell us, in your estimation, what are some of the factors that have led to these increases in prices that you buy, that you say, yeah, this is a good reason, and maybe some of the stuff that you don't buy necessarily from your perspective?
Yeah. So the very first thing is that just in 2021 alone, 11 million fewer cars were built due to the chip shortage. And the 2022 numbers are not looking any better. If anything, it might be a little worse than 2021. So obviously, you guys all know at this point that the chip shortage is at the cause of all of this. But now what we're observing is not only a chip shortage, but also component shortages and also battery shortages. So it's going to be a ripple effect. It all started from the beginning of COVID when there were lockdowns and production shutdowns. People were working at staggered schedules, country to country, and that just had an ultimate impact on the supply chain. The other thing was the electronic demand went through the roof during COVID, with people working from home, people getting equipment to get settled to work from home, and all of that had a ripple effect. And at the end of the day, it's impacting the car industry the most because on average, there are about 1,000 microchips in a modern day vehicle. And they go from critical chips to less critical chips.
Yes, and that's, I saw stories about BMW. I think it was in the last 6 months where they had to ship cars with, let's say, without a touchscreen. Normally it would come with a touchscreen. They had to ship them without a touchscreen because they just couldn't get the chips. And as you pointed out, other electronics manufacturers probably needed those same chips, and they just got played out of that market. So Eric, how do you navigate it? I mean, this is your business here at Auto Consultants, right? So how do you navigate a market that's difficult when you're the buyer if you want to get that good deal?
Yeah, so I mean, we are in an unprecedented time, and where vehicles are now considered an asset and a non-depreciating asset. So if you are to look for a new vehicle, the key word is patience. If you have a lease that's coming up to an end in 5-6 months, don't go shopping in 3 to 4 months from now. Start shopping now, especially since the lead times vary considerably from one automaker to the next. And so for battery electric vehicles right now, plug-in hybrids and all electric vehicles, the lead times on average has gone up and surpassed 1 year. So really the key word here that I stress to all of our clients is patience when it comes to a new vehicle, because the used car prices are no better. In fact, most used car prices have, well, at least the ones that are a year old, are now more expensive than the manufacturer's suggested retail price for a new vehicle.
Eric, for that person that is on a lease and the lease is ending, they know the time where their lease is ending, would you tell them to buy the car at the end of the lease? When you have the option to buy the vehicle, would you say for them, buy that car and place your order for a new car, but don't return the lease, buy the lease? What's your suggestion right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we tell our clients is that leasing a car is like a short-term test drive of the vehicle. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, you return it. But what's happening now is at the end of your contract, there is money on the table for you. And it's an unprecedented time. It's not usually like this. But if you can get money in exchange and return your car, you could do so. At Auto Consultants, we can evaluate your vehicle and be able to offer you more than what the dealership is offering you, guaranteed. Or we would strongly also suggest for you to buy back your car and either sell it privately yourself or go through us, and we'll be able to help you out and get the most for your vehicle.
Eric, in your business right now, how are you handling the negotiations? I know that's part, you handle negotiations for people, which is always such a nerve-wracking part. So how are you doing it in a tight market like this?
Yeah, so there's the negotiation aspect for a new vehicle. And look, we just in the last week alone, Ben and I, who's my co-partner here, we helped two clients, one with a Mazda and one with a Volvo. And there is still money to be had, some rebates to be had on new vehicles, surprisingly enough. We have access to some secret incentives that help lower the interest rates. And what we're observing now, I listened earlier, and one of your listeners tuned in and mentioned that the price of her Toyota Corolla went up from $395 a month to $500 and so a month for a basic level model. And all of that is in part due to the fact that interest rates are on the rise. We've been lucky for the last couple of years, for many years actually, where rates were between 1.99 to say 4%. And now we're seeing rates really going up to 5, 6, 7, even sometimes 8% on a new vehicle.
And Eric, is there a certain particular part of the market where you're seeing those openings, where those rebates are still happening and those deals are available, or is it really sort of a mishmash here? It's all over the place depending on the day.
Yeah, so for new vehicles, like new released vehicles like SUVs, a brand new model that hits the market, obviously the demand is going to be there. And if there's the demand, then the dealerships will be less interested in providing any form of rebates because they know they'll be able to sell those vehicles. Passenger vehicles right now, they are stagnating as a general market, and so there's deals to be had there. But we've helped people with SUVs getting themselves into a new SUV, and we're able to get them rebates on that front. So there's still a deal to be had for electric vehicles. Good luck. It's really the lead times are so long, and there's really no deal to be had on electric hybrids and plug-ins.
Eric, listen, thanks so much for coming on, spending the 10 minutes with us here to go over what's happening. I really appreciate it, and continued success.
Yeah, absolutely, and we look forward to helping people out. They can check us out on our website and on our social media pages.
All right, that's Eric Buzaglo, co-founder of Autos Consultants, is where you can find out more.